What I'm going to do is go through each problem on the assessment so you can find your mistakes. You should have gotten your work back by now. So on question number 1, we want to distribute, and yes, please use Desmos on here. 2/3 of 9x comes out to be 6x. 2/3 times 3 is plus 2. And now it's greater than or equal to x minus 43. Next, what you want to do is bring the smaller x over to the bigger x. So then you get 6x plus 2 is less than or equal to negative 43. This should be 5x, right? 6 minus 1 is 5. So we're going to subtract 2 from both sides. And we get 5x is less than or equal to negative 45. We're going to divide both sides by 5. And x is less than or equal to negative 9. So what happens here, you're not dividing this by a negative. This happens to be, so that's why the answer was B. So this next one, you had to, and if you got it wrong, I'm going to guess it's because you didn't pick all the solutions that go here. So again, we take the smallest x, and we're going to move it over to the bigger x. And when you do that, you get 4 is less than 9x plus 22. And we're going to minus 22 on both sides. When we do that, we get minus 18 is less than 9x. We're going to divide by 9. When we do that, we get negative 2 is less than x. Or, another way to say that is x is greater than negative 2. So you had to look at all the numbers here. And we know negative 2 can't be this. 0 is greater than negative 2. 4 is, 6 is, and 11. Question number 3 was very detailed, right? You had to go through and you had to solve each one of them to find out which has a solution set. Or you could have substituted in these values into each one to see which inequalities were true. So what I did is I took each problem, I'm going to write it here after I distributed, okay, and I added 1 to both sides, and then I got negative 8 is less than or equal. Oh, we have to be careful here. I know when we took notes, we needed to say that negative in front of the x, when we divide by negative 4, we have to change the direction. So 2 is greater than or equal to x. So x is less than or equal to 2. And you're like, okay, wait a minute. That does work. A works right away. They used the word inequalities, so what you had to do was check the other ones because there could be another one here. So if I looked at this one on B, I'm going to add 6x to both sides. Like, wait a minute, why are we doing that? Because then I'm going to get 4x minus 4 is greater than negative 7. I'm going to add 4 to both sides, and I get 4x is greater than negative 3. Divide by 4, I get x is greater than negative 3/4. So if you think about it, negative 6 won't work here. All right, now let's go on to C and D, because we needed to try all of them. So on C, we got 2, after you distribute, you get 2/5 x plus 4 is less than or equal to 16. You minus 4 on both sides. You get 2/5 x is less than or equal to 12. And you can do this in a couple different ways. So what happens on this is I'm going to multiply by 5 over 2. And when I do that over here, I get x is less than or equal to 30. And -6, 0, and 2 are solutions there. That one was a little bit harder too. -x plus 8. Remember, we stick a little 1 in there and we can distribute, is less than -10x plus 8x. So it's -x plus 8 is less than -2x. So this one, we're going to bring the x over here because we can't leave nothing on one end. And then you get this. And then you're going to divide by a negative, and you would get -8 is greater than x. So x has to be less than -8, and none of those work. So the answer was C and D. And on question number 4, you had to do all the problems as well. So again, if you look here, you're like, wait, we can use Desmos. Just do -2x on both sides. So you would get -14 is greater than, and then it's, use Desmos, 1/4 minus 2. 1/4 minus 2 is -7 over 4x. To get this over here, right, I like doing them this way. Some of you like multiplying by 4 and then dividing by 7, which is great. So after you do that, it's a negative. We have to switch the direction. And then what you get is x over here, you're going to get an 8. So x has to be greater than 8. So that does not work. Then we have to do b. We're going to distribute for b. And we get 2 plus 6x is greater than 12 plus x. Bring the smaller x over. We get 2 plus 5x is greater than 12. Bring the 2 over. Bring the 2 over. Up. 5x is greater than 10. Divide by 5. X is greater than 2. So B works. B works. And if you read the directions, select all the inequalities. So that means there's going to be more than one. We know A didn't work out. We know that B did. So now we're going to move on to C and see what happens here with C. I'm going to do this one right down here. You needed a lot of work. So the first thing you're going to do is distribute, and you get 5x minus 7.5 plus 3x, oh my gosh, is greater than 8.5. So when I combine like terms, I get 8x minus 7.5 is greater than 8.5. I add 7.5 to both sides. I get 8x is greater than, oh wow, what does this work out to? Oh, 16. If I divide by 8, I get x is greater than 2. There was another answer. And you do have to check D because there could be more than one. When you go to D, it's 1/2 x minus 3. Oh, fractions again? And the reason being with fractions is you can use Desmos, right? I'm going to stick a 1 there. I'm going to subtract 1/2 x from both sides. And when I do that, I get 1/2 x plus 2. I minus 2 from both sides. I get negative 5 is less than 1/2 x. When I get rid of that fraction, I multiply both sides by 2, and I get negative 10 is less than x. That does not work. So that is not a solution. Then our word problems. And I know how much you guys like word problems. But setting it up, it was 45 is how many Kendrick had, and added 4. And we want to know, will Kendrick have more than or equal to? So then it looked like this. I did Kendrick on this side, and I'm going to do Beverly over here. Beverly started with 61. Kendrick buys 4 more each month. Beverly buys 2. And after you solve this, you would find out the answer is 8 months. So I want you to practice solving this. That's how you set it up. And the last one was hard. It was very similar to what we did as a warm-up and some of the practice. You could have used a little guess and check strategy, right? It'll come back in a second, sorry. So they were buying lunches and dessert, okay? They spent a total of $60.25, and we know it has to look like this. Each dessert cost $5.25 less than one of the lunches. So they bought 5 lunches, and then they bought 3 desserts. So 5 lunches plus 3, and then desserts are $5.25 less than. So we had to distribute. And then you got this. So this was the hard part. So as I looked at some people's work, I saw a variety of ways. Some people used guess and check. Not a bad strategy when it's multiple choice, but this is the way it would have been set up. So lunches are $9.50. Okay? Please bring your corrections to Miss Burford, and then we can talk about your retake.